and welcome to the Home Turn YouTube channel. It's your presenter Josh back again with another, or well, actually our final now, Cheltenham Preview video. This one will be focusing just on the mayor's races as we've done with everything else before this. And as I said, this is our last preview video before the Cheltenham Festival proper, which starts actually next Tuesday. We'll have another video coming out, I imagine, on the Sunday or the Monday before Cheltenham, just with kind of best bets for the week, excluding what we've already got in the Antepost bets, which we will recap as well at the end of today's video, and just a little bit of the overall preview for the week once we get kind of declarations as well. But as I said, this one is just focused on the mares races and then overall what our Antepost slips are kind of looking like at that point. So I appreciate everyone tuning in. If you enjoy the series, if you like the channel, please just like and subscribe to the videos. It really does help. And as I said, there'll be plenty more videos to come, running up through Cheltenham to Aintree and then into the flat season as well. So I appreciate everyone's time. We're going to get straight into the video now. As I said, the first race we're going to start to discuss from the mares races is on day one of the festival, being the mares hurdle. At the moment, the very heavy price, well, the very heavy favourite for this Lossy Mouth is 1-2 on to win this Grade One crown for Willie Mullins and Rich Ritchie. I mean, realistically, I know there's been talk about her going to the Champion Hurdle now that Constitution Hill news has dropped with him dropping out, but I mean, the likelihood is she's going to stay here. I don't see why they would revert to the fact or go back on their original plan, because they've still got Stateman in the race. She's probably going to go win a freebie in the Champion. Now, as I said, they're realistically speaking, she's going to win this. I don't really see anything that potentially beats her. I think this is really just a race for second and third. Yeah, that run at Cheltenham last time out when she beat, sorry, in the Unibet hurdle, sorry, when she beat Love Envoi in First Street and Roubaix, was amazing. Obviously, took a pull coming into the last Nepal and she scooted clear up the Cheltenham Hill. She obviously loves the track, having won the Triumph last year, and then obviously the Unibet hurdle. On her last start, I don't see any issue with her stepping up in trips, 2 mile 4 really. I think she's bred from a staying family anyway, and she clearly had quite a lot in reserve. Um, Last time out, I don't think the extra half mile was be any kind of inconvenience to her. She does travel very strongly and she can kind of get lit up, but I just, again, I don't think anything in this race has the class to touch her. Realistically speaking, she is a champion hurdle horse next year, and nothing else in this field really is. So I don't really see an issue. I think she's pretty much bomb-proof in this. I do think Afro Diamond probably will most likely follow her up the Cheltenham Hill. I think she'll most likely come second, make it a Willie Mullins 1-2. And she is 7-2, so that's a bit of Mikey each way bet there, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend anyone backing her. Um, I think she's inferior to Lossy Mouth, and I don't think, realistically speaking, she's going to challenge for the crown. I just think she's probably going to place. What a bigger prize would actually be Love Envoi, who's previous placing last year, obviously behind Honeysuckle in this, and she has won. She did win the mare's Novice as well at Cheltenham. So she does love Cheltenham. And if it was to get a little bit softer in the ground description, I know at the moment it's good to soft in places. There is rain forecast on the Saturday night and Sunday, rolling into Cheltenham. So maybe if it's on the softer side at that point, she'd have a better chance. But 14-1 each way is actually quite a nice little bet. I think obviously she's being sold after this now. To go to Brood Mary, so she's gonna be completely revved up for this, and I think actually 14-1. If there's anything in this field that I'd have a small each way bet on, it would be her. I think she's probably going to outrun those odds. Um, but I don't necessarily think she's win. You'd be really picking on the place money. It's actually maybe it's just a place bet on the day potentially for her. But as I said, overall, I think Lossy Mouth is going to have this one in the bag completely. So what we'll do is move straight on now to the mare's novice hurdle, which I think most people would unanimously really say this is the best quality race or the most interesting um, race of the festival. I'd say it's definitely up there. Obviously everyone loves a gold cup, but from a pure competitiveness standpoint and quality standpoint, this is hard to kind of beat. Obviously, you got the short price of it now, Bryce Days ahead of Gordon Elliott's, who's been talking her up like she's the best thing since sliced bread. I mean, essentially the best horse he's ever trained. She's now 11-8 favourite for the race, having won three times this season over hurdles. Now, I actually will be completely honest. I've backed Brighter Days Ahead. I think 10-1 and 8-1 a long time ago. So I am all for her winning from just my own financial gain. However, I don't see why she should be 11-8. She is all hype as things stand at the moment. If you look back over her three races, what has she actually beat? She obviously won over the Apples Jades listed race at Navan in February of a 2 mile 5, and this is a 2 mile race, beating Pastoral by 12 lengths on heavy ground. Now, Pastoral, there's no mug. Obviously, he's placed in a listed race before that, but I wouldn't say that's scintillating form, beating Pastoral and Mel Monroe. And then before that, when she won the Grade 3 at Down Royal, she beat Bantown Girl and Williamstown Dancer. That's not, again, anything really you would say you can write home about. I mean, I just think you can crab the form a fair bit with her, considering her price. Now, if she was, let's say, Dysart Enos price is what, 92, 4-1. Yeah, fair play. That's a backable bet as things stand. But 11-8 in this field for what she's actually done on the racecourse, I personally think is a little bit short for my liking, and I'd potentially I'd look to take her on actually at that price. Now, look, as I said, I would benefit massively if she goes and bolts up and lives up to the hype that Gordon Elliott has placed on her. I guess we'll have to see on the day whether she can do that, because it's not like it's a small task. She's got to go up against obviously William Armstrong's Jade DeGruzzi, Kenny Alexander Owens, obviously in the honeysuckle colours. Now she's mightily impressive, 3 for 3 in her career. She won a national flat race in France before moving straight over to Willie Mullins Yard. She beat Butcher's Hollow by 15 lengths, which is fairly decent Irish form from the novice campaign wise. And then obviously she went and won that Sol Arena hurdle at Fairy House at the end of January when she beat a penny 100 and looked to the west, and pretty convincingly as well. But she's done everything very easily, and she looks the real deal. And I know a lot of people before obviously the chat came out about Brighton as had Jade Grudy as a number one in this. And I do too. Look, she seems a little bit more solid, but I do think both Brighter Days Ahead and Jade Grudy would relish a step up and trip. And obviously, this is over 2 mile 1, and potentially on good to soft ground as well. This is on a Thursday, so it may not necessarily be the case. But I just think these two at the top of the market are a little bit, for me personally, overpriced, or sorry, or so a little bit underpriced. They're a little bit short than what I potentially would be looking to back at. I do think you can kind of crab both their form. I mean, JD Grudy Solarina Herd is probably one of the better mare forms this season in this race. But I wouldn't say it's anything to massively write home about. Not that I think a lot of people on Twitter and in podcasts have been massively talking her up. And I just looking through the form, I don't necessarily see how it's a million miles above anything else in this race from Jade Jaguzzi perspective. It's only going to be her third run in the UK. Now, obviously, she's going to be probably likely come on for the run in the Sol Arena as well. But I just think at 94, with others I'm going to get onto in a second, is a little bit short. And I potentially, for me, I'd be interested in taking her on. Now, these are the two I'm most interested in. It might be foolish trying to back a British horse, but I'm really keen on Dysart Enos for Fergal O'Brien. I think probably his best chance to get his first festival winner on the board. She's 9-2 now. I think that's a very appealing price. Obviously, 6 from 6 under rules. She's walked the walk every time she's been on the track. She's a little bit more streetwise than these other ones in the field so far. And I just think she's going to have a massive chance. I mean, again, this is it's not like this is over 2.5 miles. This is over 2 miles 1 furlong. She is all speed. She's significantly more speedy than the front two in the market. And if it was, let's just say they came down to the last in line, I know who I'd be putting my money on 10 out of 10 times to go up that hill and sprint away and win. And it would be her. She was electric in the Aintree bumper, the Grade 2 Mares bumper, towards the end of last season when she beat Golden Ace, beat Williamstown's answer that day by 10 lengths. Um, in a bumper, and then obviously has gone on since then to win on not in a maiden, sorry, in a novice hurdle at Huntington very comfortably, 1-7 on. But obviously, it was, I think, for me, the the bit of form I want to latch on for her is her run at Cheltenham. Obviously, she ran in that Class 3 novice race back in the December meeting, and over 2 mile one, over course and distance, she was scintillating that day. Obviously, beat the bat in tail. The field, well, I wouldn't say there's anything necessarily to write home about, but the way that she did it, she obviously went up against the geldings as well. And that day, beat the bat is no mug, I would say, from a yardstick perspective in the UK. He's a pretty good yardstick for these novice hurdlers coming through. And she did that with a turn of foot that looked electric, and she wasn't let go that day either. And they've obviously minded her since then, obviously running at Doncaster in that bit of a Mickey Mouse race where she went and did it very much well enough, 1-9 on. But what that has done is also avoided the penalty. So she's carrying £5 less. She's got course and distance form. And I just think on a better surface, potentially, that it may well be looking at the weather. Um, she she's going to be swinging in with a chance. And I think if it came down to it, and all three of these were lined up jumping their last together, I know who I'd back going over there. So for me, in the mare's hurdle, I would be backing, and I'm going to be putting up Dysart Enos at 9-2. I think she's a cracking bet, and I'd be very, very keen on her. The one I also think is of an interesting price, and there's a bit overpriced at the moment, is Golden Ace of Jeremy Scott's. Obviously, was second to Dysart Enos in that Aintree bumper Grade 2 at the end of last season, and has come out subsequently then and won both times she's run over hurdles. Once at Taunton, which may not look it may look quite an inconspicuous line of form. But actually, when you look through the race, she beat Lucky Place by just under a length. Insurrection as well, then by 7 lengths. Obviously, Lucky Place then after that went on and ran up to behind Gidley Park in that Grade 2 at Cheltenham. And the Insurrection has already been placed in a Grade 2 at Sandown in December time. So I think that was fairly strong form. She did it really, really well. They battled hard over 2 mile three, and then stepped back in trip at Taunton next time out in a mare's novice hurdle, and won that very, very convincingly, going away very nicely over 2 miles. I think she's got a bit of class about her, and I think at 12-1 potentially she's just a little bit overpriced. Maybe it's an each way angle, but for me, I'm going to be sticking with Dysart Enos. I'm really keen on Dysart Enos in this, and I think she's just overpriced based on the other front two in the market and what they've done, potentially what they've achieved this season. I may be hung out to dry for that, but that's just my 2 cents in it, and I'd be putting Dysart Enos up at 9-2 for the mare's novice hurdle. And then just finally, the last mare's race, and the last race we're going to cover in our Cheltenham preview videos is on the final day of the festival, on the Friday, and it's the mare's chase. It's the penultimate race of the festival as well. And Dino Blue heads to market 11-10 as a favourite at the moment for Willie Mullins, and obviously JP McManus. Now, I think she goes and win this. It's again the Lossie Mouse conundrum, whether she's a very short. We're talking about a very short price favourite here that's stepping up in trip for the first time. Not she has won a hurdle race over 2 mile four, 2.5 miles and four. So I actually don't have as much concern with Dino Blue anyway. But over in a chase career, stepping up the first time in 2 mile four, I personally think she's going to outclass everything else in this race. Is a Grade 1 level contender in open company, and steps back into mare's company against her own sex, where she is just going to be, I think, it's just a step above the level at the moment with the likes of Alago Vassi, a Limerick Later, and Bride's Hill, for instance. I couldn't have Alago Vassi at 4-1. She's too unreliable. Obviously, ran a good race in this last year, coming second behind Impervious, but it's just very hit and miss. And obviously, it seemed to be getting back into form. I know they've mentioned they changed up a routine at the Mullins Yard, which has helped her, and she obviously won that listed 2 mile um, chase at Limerick last time against Riviere de Tel at 4 lengths, which was a good piece of form, and she ran really well that day. But I just personally couldn't have her against Dino Blue. I think Dino Blue is a Grade 1, it is an open Grade 1 contender, and the rest of these just wouldn't be able to swim in that company. I think that's enough really can be said about it. I do like out of the ones a little bit further down the market. I think Limerick Lace at 11-2 is probably the best price if you're looking at an each way angle in this. 11-2 is not necessarily an each way price, but you do get your money back as a stake. It was to come up really soft on the day. she definitely have a chance. Was mightily impressive last time out at Doncaster in that listed mares Silver Vase where she beat Lara Monet and obviously retired Zambella um, after trouncing her completely. I just think if the ground was to come completely boggy, she would definitely factor into the equation. Now, obviously, Dynabu has won on soft ground before, won a Grade One on soft ground actually at Leopardstown in December, in the Paddy Barrow Awards Club Chase. But I think if it was like heavy, really heavy ground, then Limerick Place would definitely factor more into the equation. But for me, I just think Dyna Blue is the likely winner of this. The one I do think at a price that you could probably look for to run well in this is Pink Legend. Obviously, Venetia Williams is I think 100 to 1 now. Maybe it's an each way angle. She always seems to pop up in these kind of races and runs really, really well and respectably. Won the so placed in this last year behind Impervious and Allegory de Bassi went third. I just think she's very consistent when trained for the race, and I think 100 to 1 probably a little bit overpriced for her, but she's a 10-year-old now, so maybe that's not necessarily one to consider. Um, but as I said, I just think Dana Blue would win. Not really a prize I'll be backing, but maybe for a multiple, she'd be a very strong fancy in this. Even though she is going to give £2 to Ali Woodarassi and £5 to the likes of Limerick and Brideshill, I just think she's going to have a lot too much class for them in this. So yeah, for me, it'd be Dino Blue in the Mare's Chase. So just to summarise, as I said, the Mare's Hurdle is going to be one with Lossy Mouth. I don't think that's going to be a scrap. I just think Love Envoy at 14 to 1 if it got soft, especially on soft ground each way, would definitely factor in for a place chance, and she would anyway. I think she's going to be sort of primed to the gills for this one. In the Mare's Novice, I'm siding with Dysart Enos at 92. I think for a win bet as well. I think you're going to see a superstar. I really do. I'm excited to see. It's going to be probably the best race of the festival, I think, on the Thursday. And I think you're going to see something very special. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it's us at Enos. If not, I've got the Sabres Antepost on Fridays ahead. But yeah, I'm hoping. But I really, really do like us at Enos, and I think she's going to get very close. And in the Mayor's Chase, it's a bit boring. Short price favourites. So probably going to win this, but Dyna Blue, I couldn't really get away from. But as I said, if it was to get really, really soft, I think you could have a little saver on Limerick Place or 100 to 1 shot. King Legend is always going to run her race. So that's everything for the Cheltenham preview aspect of the video. So just getting on now to reviewing our Antepost slip. So obviously, the first video we put up, we tipped Croke Park and the Bartlett at 20 to 1, Salva and the Boodles and Triumph non-runner no bet at 16 and 14 to 1 alike. And then we had Woodoo in the Boodles as well. Now, obviously, I think Salva's gone already. There's not been entered into the Boodles, or I don't think we'll go for the Triumph either. So I think we're going to get non-runner no bet non-runner no bet on that one, so we get the money back on that. So anyway, it's not really um, too bad. I think Croke Park's still 20 to 1. I think he goes there with a massive chance. Really, really do. One short price winner of this in the last, I think, 10 years, which is Monkfish a few years ago at 5 to 1. This race is typically won by a big price, and I think big price horse, and I think Croke Park potentially would be the one. I'm actually quite keen on him in Bartlett. It's a tough old race, and I think he may have the minerals for it, hopefully, or at least to run into a place for us, as we would have him each way. Wood who's we tipped up at 8 to 1 win. She's now up to 10, so I'm not as keen now after the weights have dropped. I think she's going to carry 11 stone 3 in this, and I don't necessarily think she's going to be right. Well, I think Jack Kennedy's going to ride her. I think he's going to ride Ndawi, who which maybe says what the stable thinks about her. But I think she's still going to go there with a chance. She's very streetwise, and some of these just aren't. I think that could help in a Boodles at a big field handicap. So um, she's carrying a massive weight, and I think at 10 to 1, she's still at the interesting price and will obviously run well for us, hopefully, in the Boodles. And then obviously JPR one at 12 to 1 at the Arkle. He's now best priced 5 to 2. Sorry, not 5 to 2, 15 to 7 to 1. Um, I'm very keen on him. The race has cut up even more. Obviously, with the news that Marie National has dropped out of that, opened up the field considerably. I think Gaelic Warrior heads the market at the moment. I couldn't be having him going left-handed over 2 miles whatsoever. Um, I really, really like JPL one for this. I'm massively keen. I think this could be one of our best bets in the festival. He's going to jump his way into the race 100%. And I think you could play him again on the day because I think money will come, especially at the likes of Gaelic Warrior or even if a Fasol Vega was to turn up, he's going to receive a lot of market attention, and it's just going to push out JPL one closer to the time. close to the off, and we can obviously strike a little bit. I'm gonna be topping up as well. I'm really keen, really keen on him to go. And then obviously got Stay Away Faye in the Brown Advisory, 7-2, tipped it up on the win. He is now 3-1, I think, best price for this. Obviously, it's been confirmed now that the file will run in this. However, it's also been confirmed that Broadway Boy is going to run in this instead of the National Hunt Chase, which gives us a pace angle, a big pace angle, which Stay Away Faye can line up and run off. That news that Broadway Boy will be entered in and will be running in this massively improved my theory, my chances that Stay Away Faye is going to go win this. It gives him a pace to aim at, and it gives him a pace to run off, and I think he may cause an upset here. He really may. Obviously, Fact File's got to step up and trip for the first time. The short price to do that. I think Stay Away Faye is a big old slogger, and I think he'll be right around there. I would be in. I think he's going to give him around as a good race. Obviously, you've got Salvador Ziggy then in the National Hunt Chase at 8-1. Is I think 5-1, 9-2 best price now. I personally, I'm a little bit windy now. Obviously, we've got him each way, so that gives us a place angle, which is nice. Because I don't think he's going to win. I think Empty Gardens at 9-4 is a bet. Corbett's Cross 15-8 couldn't be having it whatsoever. And whatsoever, I couldn't be having Corbett's Cross. I'm really quite keen on Empty Gardens in this. 9-4, even would be. You'll see it in the video coming up. We'll mention him. I'm very keen on him. But Salvador Ziggy, we got him an each way price, and we'll see. And hopefully, gives us a good run for our money at the end of the day. He had obviously Brecon Castle at 25-1 on the bumper. He's not been declared or entered in the final stages of declarations for it. So he in the final stages of entries for it. Sorry, so he's not going to run. Obviously, not running a bet on that. So not too bad. It's a shame. I thought he was going to run a big race if he got there for a big with a big prize for you. Obviously, very experienced as well. That's just fortunately clearly not made it to Cheltenham. Then we had Chianti Classico in the handicaps, obviously with the Ultima, 10-1. He's now 8-1 best price, and I'm really keen, man keen. Obviously, Meeting the Waters is favourite at 5-1 now. I think he's going to have to give Chianti Classico £4, I believe. I, I'm even more keen now on Chianti Classico. That's not changed a thing about my belief that he's going to go win this race, and I'm at 10-1. We sat on a nice price there as well. Personal Legawa has unfortunately been pulled out of the Kim Muir 8-1, so that's a non-run no bet situation for us as well. And then we've got White Rhino in the attempts at 14-1 each way. I think he is 14-1 with Bet365 and every other than tens. I really like him. He's going to run a big race for them Pemps. I really do. Course form off a really nice mark. I think he's been lined up for it. So we'll see. I haven't seen a lot of people talking about him, so he may go under a little bit of the radar. May drift out on the day potentially if something gets latched onto. But I think he's going to run a big race for us, and I might tap up on that one again as well. And obviously, finally, we've got Dysart Enos, who we just put up today at 92 for the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. Maybe controversial, but I think she's going to go around mighty close. So I appreciate everybody's time for watching the video. That will kind of wrap everything up now for our Cheltenham previews. We're going to go. Our next video will just be on Sunday or Monday for Cheltenham, and all we'll be doing there is running through everything with a bit of better picture and seeing if there's kind of a change to what we ran through in the previously in regards to who I think my best bets of the festival will be, who I think are the flops of the festival, and we can obviously then go in to the Tuesday with gusto and in a position where we hopefully have a few really solid bets for the week to come up, and hopefully get us in profit, which is, I mean, you got to enjoy yourself, but it's all about from a punting perspective. We want to make sure we're lining our pockets as well. So I appreciate everybody's time watching the video. If you got this far, please like and subscribe if you enjoy the channel, and I'll be back again very shortly with a final Cheltenham video to kind of surmise everything. So look, I appreciate everybody's time and have a good rest of your day wherever you're watching. Bye.